Hello, friends. Welcome to the Confidence Zone. I'm your host, the confidence coach, Susan Axelrod. Daily, live at 5 p.m. Eastern, I come to you and speak to you about confidence, tips, tools, strategies, and sometimes my own vulnerabilities, because honestly, we're not all supremely confident all the time. Today, I am delighted that I have a special guest to bring into the Confidence Zone. I want to introduce and say hello to my good friend, Cyndi Lynn. Hi, Cyndi.
Hi, Susan. So good to be here with you.
Good to be here with you. Today is Casual Wednesday in the Confidence Zone
Yes.
because, honestly, Cyndi, I was working out. I was busy. I was working. I was helping someone with something, and then I have to walk the dog because he can't walk himself. And I still show up. And so, thank you for
You
joining
have
me on
to.
Casual Wednesday.
Absolutely. We're in the same boat here with the snow and the rain and everything going on. It's like
Where are
showing up
you?
with
Where are you calling from?
from Minnesota, just outside the Twin
Ah,
Cities.
yes, Minnesota, where winter is 9 months a year.
At least, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, friends, Cyndi and I are both members in the KS Media Group app. We are both leading practitioners, both experts in our own areas, which I'm going to invite Cyndi to share with us in a second. But I just want to say that if you are looking for inspiration in your phone, your handheld phone,
Mm.
the speaker by your ear, I want to invite you to go to the Play Store, download the KS Media Group app. Cyndi and I are both there, as are a few dozen other leading practitioners offering you inspiration in mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. Cornelia Stephanie is the founder of this group, and she is our fearless leader
Mhm.
in the app, and that's how Cyndi and I know each other. So, Cyndi, I'm so happy to welcome you into the Confidence Zone today. I want to invite you to just give a thumbnail about who you are and what you do.
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity. So I'm Cyndi Lynn, and I'm an integrative life coach. And I work specifically with women who are in the process of managing diagnosis or have worked their way through any kind of diagnosis to regain their life, to become independent, to be better healthcare consumers, to stay really in control of their health no matter what's going on around them.
All right, let's stop here. The first time I heard Cyndi Lynn talk about this, I was like, damn, what's going on here? This is so important. It's so needed from my perspective as a confidence coach. When you get that diagnosis of any sort, right? The
Mhm.
uber urgent, crisis one, or something that's a little lower level, but still a diagnosis, autoimmune or whatever it might
Mhm.
be, as opposed to acute cancer. Um, the first thing that goes is your confidence. You have
Absolutely.
honestly no idea what to do, where to go, or how to manage your emotions, your time, and
Mhm.
the activity that has to happen. And so when Cyndi Lynn started telling me, she's been a guest with me before. When she started telling me about this, I knew I wanted to have you in the confidence zone. So, just we're gonna talk about your community and stuff today. But before we do that, I just want to ask you to just let people know, what is this service that you provide? Somebody gets diagnosed with something, and
So, absolutely. And the confidence zone is the perfect place to talk about this because even as a nurse for many, many years, when I would sit down with the doctor, when I would get test results or get that phone call and have a diagnosis, I would lose my confidence. I would lose, we're in a fight or flight. We get overwhelmed. We don't think clearly. And believe me, for women like you and I, who are professionals, who are used to being on top of things and in charge and running the show, it's confidence crushing to
Mhm.
not be in that role and then to have to deal with this new information. So that's where I come in. That's where I have the ability to meet with you. And I do this in a couple of ways, but right now I have a great program going where I meet with women for one day and we map out the entire course of their plan through their diagnosis. And so it's a management plan. Obviously, we don't know everything that's going to happen every minute at every doctor's office, but we can map out the specialists we want to see, the questions you want to ask, the thoughts that you might have, or other directions or options that kind of in this crunch time you wouldn't necessarily think of on your own.
So, one of the things I've heard you say many times, this is why I repeat myself. My kids hate it when I repeat myself, but repetition is the best form of learning. And so, one of the things that I've heard you say many times that changed things for me, not that I've had a diagnosis, but many people I know have, and I'm your advocate now. So I need to make sure I know what I'm talking about if I'm going to refer you. And that is usually when you get a diagnosis, it's not emergent.
Correct.
It's not like, oh my gosh, I have to do this right now. And so for anybody watching or listening to know that you're a resource in this area where you can come in and really help people take a breath, build the confidence, like we said, and really feel more in control. Did I get that right?
Absolutely. More in control of their life and their path, and also more in control of things around you. So you're absolutely right. If you're walking into and out of the doctor's office with this information, it is not an emergency.
Right.
We aren't talking heart attack, stroke, massive hemorrhaging, where you're wheeled into the emergency room, and that's a different ballgame.
Right.
You get into the very efficient medical system we have, and you just keep going. I'm talking about, like you said, you get those words that test results come back. The medical system still wants to be very efficient, and they'd like very much for you to just get on the conveyor belt and go. But we function so much better, I think, especially as women, if we can take that pause, if we can make sure our family things are in order, our work things are in order, and it's just a matter of taking a few more days or a week. I'm not talking about delaying therapy or delaying treatment for months and months,
Right.
although that's an option in some cases.
Right.
But just having things a bit squared away so that we can go into a well planned out treatment with our intentions and attention in the right place.
All right. So let's so much to say. My daily lives are not long, but I'm going to go longer than I usually do because this is so important. I mean, I would be hard pressed if I put 7 women up against a wall, 7 women I know. I'd be hard pressed to find 6 or 7 who don't have some kind of autoimmune something going on. And so, and especially with that whole thing, it's like trial error, try. And so, I think this is just so important. Now, let me ask you, I what do you call that one day experience, a VIP experience?
It's after the diagnosis strategy session.
Okay, diagnosis strategy session. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's a
friends,
strategy
write
session.
down diagnosis strategy session. So I'm a strategist, Cyndi, Lynn. It's what I do. It's what I do in business. It's what I do in life. And so I love everything about this. So I want to again say to people watching and listening, this is an important one to share. There is available a diagnosis strategy session with a person who has a long career as a nurse and who gets the system and can help you move from utter, crisis, mental crisis management to a little bit of controlled confidence. And so, all right, we got that out there, Cyndi Lynn. All right, talk to me about your community. What is this about? I really can't remember. I don't know if I know the details.
Sure. So we haven't talked a lot about that. We've spent a lot of time on this one day intensive. So you get the news. So the other end of that spectrum is that maybe you've made your way through your cancer diagnosis, you've made your way through treatments, or you've kind of found that trial and error, and you found the balance with your Hashimoto's, with your lupus, with your other autoimmune kind of issues. But you found at the end of this course that the diagnosis has kind of taken over your identity.
Mm.
And you'd sort of like your old life back, but you've come a long way and you've learned a lot and you've grown so much that the old life doesn't really fit. And you kind of wonder, who are you? Who am I? I have these experiences. They are a part of my life. So I don't want to deny them. And I've learned a lot from them, but I don't want to just be the diabetic. I don't want to just be the 3-year cancer survivor. I mean, that's great. But before my diagnosis, I was so much more. And I want to be more again. So the Heal Your Life community is a monthly membership, very accessible, $47 a month. And each month, in very bite-sized pieces, we look at different aspects of your life. So for example, March, we're just wrapping up healing beliefs. So at your own pace, you can come into the community, you can go through the materials. You get a couple of calls a month, group calls with me for Q&A. You get all your work done in a month, fine. You don't, you still have access to it as long as you're in the community. We know, I know some months are more trying than others. So it's set up very consumable in little bits and pieces. And I'm excited about April because April is healing beyond the cure. No, cure is something that we look to the outside for generally, and healing is an inside job, and it's a fabulous inside job.
Oh, isn't it? Isn't it though? So I do a monthly session with my good friend Evie Lennon. You know Evie,
Mhm. I
right?
know Evie, she's
Yeah.
fabulous.
Evie Lennon is the chronic conditions chaplain. And I read her book, Drawing Comfort for Chronic Conditions.
Mhm.
And even though I didn't think I had a chronic condition, I learned so much from her book. First of all, I do have mental health concerns that I have in check. So that could be said, that would be chronic. You also have thoughts which are chronic, but anyway, and but for anyone who has so many different kinds of chronic conditions, I love the Heal Your Life community for that too. Is a chronic condition a diagnosis of a sort? Is that like all in there?
Absolutely. It's all in there. It's anytime there's something going on with your health, be it spiritual, physical, emotional, mental health, that's taken away from who you are as a person. And if you want to investigate, if you want to intentionally create your identity, then the Heal Your Life community is a great place to start.
I love this. Oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. All right, I typed up a few notes right in the comments, right in real live time while you were talking. So we've got some information there. How can people find you?
Sure, cindylynn.com. They can set up you can grab a spot on my calendar for a free call and we'll chat just like you and I are here. Or you can find me on the KS Media Group app. So all of my contact information is in there as well.
Easy peasy. Go to the KS Media Group app
Mhm.
and look for Cyndi Lynn, who is a leading practitioner there. And I typed in the spelling CYNDILYNNE.com.
Yes,
So that's fine. Well, Cyndi, thank you so much for joining me today in the Confidence Zone. I want to wish you the very, very best. What you're doing, it's absolutely vital today. And to everyone watching or listening to this, please share this video with anyone you know who is in the diagnosis situation or might be interested in the Heal Your Life community, because it's important. We can help each other just by doing that, right?
absolutely. Thank you so much. This has been so much fun. We could talk about this stuff forever. Your insight is fabulous, and I
I know.
appreciate
Thank you
you
so
sharing the
much.
message.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, come back. We'll do it all over again.
Absolutely.
All right,
Thanks a
friend.
lot.
Wishing you all the best, and I'll see you soon. All right.
Thanks.
Take
Bye-bye.
good care. Bye-bye.